Greetings, my friends. Please consider supporting me in my war to save pop culture by subscribing to my channel and possibly even becoming a channel member for exclusive videos, access to Doomcock emojis, and more. And if you like this video in particular, please consider using the new Super Thanks feature and putting a tip in the tip jar located next to the like buttons down at the bottom of the video. Thank you for watching, and now, on to the video. Doomcock has largely been silent regarding She-Hulk till now, largely because I have been ill roughly as long as She-Hulk has been on the air. And no, while I don't think it was She-Hulk that made me sick, there were times when I was the exact same shade of green as she was. But that's neither here nor there. The point being, I have in my possession some leaked ratings and performance data from my spy inside Disney regarding She-Hulk. Numbers that I will be presenting here shortly, but I will also be giving my review of She-Hulk here, brief though it may be, as there isn't a whole lot to talk about here. But let me tell you folks, if you hate She-Hulk, you will want to watch this video to the end, because by the end of this video, you're going to be feeling pretty damn good.
A lot of people hate this show passionately, Doomcock. They really hate this show.
Oh, I'm well aware of that, Harvey, and I have a theory about it. A theory that frankly fills me with happiness and optimism, because the fact She-Hulk is bombing so spectacularly suggests to me that wokeness is finally on the ropes in Hollywood, and wokeness is going down faster than Linda Lovelace in a boxing match with an anchor tied around her neck. Before I get to the evidence about She-Hulk being such an awful bomb for Disney+, let me talk about She-Hulk for a moment. I would characterize She-Hulk as something of a schizophrenic show. There's a lot of bland, kind of harmless meh stuff in there, mixing in with periodic outbreaks of woke bullshit that will enrage any Marvel fan, with a sprinkling of something that might allegedly be called humor. I say allegedly because I see no evidence of its existence in the show. I'm told this is a comedy, but if a comedy falls in a forest and nobody laughs, does it really exist? I don't know, people. All I know is She-Hulk isn't funny, nor is it remarkable in any way other than being periodically outrageous. You just kind of glide through it mindlessly, thinking that Tatiana Maslany is cute and She-Hulk is kind of hot, until you hit a woke speed bump that pisses you off and makes you want to change the channel. But we'll get to those numbers in a minute. The point is, I have a theory about She-Hulk. This show feels schizophrenic because She-Hulk feels genial and pleasant for part of the time, hostile to men and woke as fuck at others. And I think what we're seeing is the product of many reshoots. I think initially She-Hulk was basically like the amazing Wonder Ray, the bestest ever, putting the boys in their place, hating on the patriarchy, up with girl power, that sort of shit. But then Disney wisely stepped in and said, well, we have to redo this. We've been down this road before. We have to revise this and do some reshoots and patch it up to make her a lot less and a lot more likable. So they did their best without reshooting it top to bottom, but they weren't able to filter out all the woke shit, and that's why we have She-Hulk. Now, as you said, Harvey, a lot of people violently hate this show.
Yeah, and you said that filled you with hope? How come?
Because objectively speaking, as bad as She-Hulk is, it's not as bad as the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, at least not in my book. And yet people didn't react so violently to those horrible shows, and that tells me one thing, one hopeful thing, Harvey. Fans have finally developed an allergy to woke. Audiences now have finally been exposed to wokeness so much that they not only hate it, they've developed a sensitivity to it, an actual allergy, and now at the merest hint of wokeness, they break out in hives and leave the show. Folks, this is a very positive development. I know it's painful, but after all these years of exposure to the woke toxin, now we not only detect it instantly, we physically react to it. And what does that mean?
It means we're winning the war on woke. It means the SJWs can't sneak in under the radar anymore. As it is with alcoholism, you've got to know you've got a problem before you can correct the problem.
Precisely. At this point, a significant percentage of the population is hypersensitized to wokeness, and this is now one of our greatest advantages in the war on woke. The enemy can't sneak around in the background anymore, my friends. We're winning. Me? I've been hypersensitized to wokeness for years. I was an early adopter of that particular malady. For a while, I was calling out wokeness where no one else saw it, but thank God the world is catching up with me. I didn't react as strongly against She-Hulk in the moment because A, I was already sick when I watched and semi-delirious, and B, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, and nothing really surprises me all that much anymore. I was just, yep, that's woke, that's woke, there's more woke. Hey, she looks hot, the abomination, nice, there's more woke, yawn, rinse, and repeat. Overall, I hated other Disney shows a lot worse, but again, I was sick as a dog when I watched it, so that's all I can say regarding my review. But let's get to these leaks, folks, because they're going to make those of you who hated She-Hulk and hate Disney Plus very happy. At this point, I have to tell you that the information I'm about to share was provided to me by an individual I've worked with quite a while who claims to have knowledge of the situation. But since I cannot independently verify that information, I must report this as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. My source inside Disney, aka one of my Bothan spies, has been relaying information to me via my Hollywood spies, and I can now tell you just how badly She-Hulk is doing behind the Disney Iron Curtain in terms of ratings and in terms of tots. To renew your understanding of what tots are, that's an acronym for Tune Out Times, and what that means is, as the great Friedrich Nietzsche said, when you gaze into Disney Plus also gazes into you. Meaning they keep careful track of when you stop watching the show. They want to evaluate your viewing habits to measure when the show is working and when it is not. What parts of a show do people like versus what parts of a show drive viewers away? Ideally, you want your tune-out time to be about as long as the show itself, to the end of the show when the credits come up. If you watch that long, it tells them in general that that's a very successful show. But say they do an episode where Wolverine dresses in drag and goes out cruising for sailors, and everyone tunes out at exactly that moment, and that tells them, hey, it was a mistake having Wolverine dress in drag, right? Well, my friends, I have the tune-out times for She-Hulk, and they paint a picture that is all too familiar. Get woke, go broke. It's a picture we've all seen before, a bleak paint-by-numbers picture that comes out exactly the same every time. So one wonders why Disney Plus in particular, and Hollywood in general, keep painting it. But never mind. In the case of She-Hulk, just like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it has come back around to bite them in the ass. On August 19th, I received the following from my Bothan spy inside Disney, quote, while this show started off pretty well and the early numbers are not bad, it's tracking well enough, but there is an early warning sign. There is a very high tots for this episode. Almost 45% of people tuned out at a very precise time, which is not a good start for any show, unquote. Then I received an update on Tuesday, August 23rd for the first episode of She-Hulk, quote, while She-Hulk is not doing bad, about 7 million views so far, the most troublesome thing is the tots. The tune-out times are very high for a first episode, 48.6%. And it's right when She-Hulk tells Hulk, so I'm basically better than you.
Heh, I knew it. That's when you almost tuned out, Doomcock. Sick as you were, you muttered a string of colorful metaphors and reached for the remote, as I recall.
Oh, that was fucking outrageous, Harvey. Even a Mark Ruffalo'd Gyno Hulk deserved better treatment than that, damn it. Still, it's my calling to suffer through this shit for the sake of saving pop culture, so I endured. Sat through this silly She-Hulk holding her own in a fight against the Hulk, for God's sakes. All the insults, sneers, and slights. The point is, folks, they lost nearly half the She-Hulk audience when she insulted the Hulk. Boom! Gone. Just like that. A stinging rebuke to wokeness at Disney, and a beautiful thing to behold. But hold on, folks, it gets worse. My Hollywood spies at the time were asking, will the tots figure in to week 2? Will the audience come back for more in episode 2? But the real test is subs, and there's no bump as of yet, unquote. Then on Saturday, August 28th, came the final blow. I received word from my Bothan spy through my Hollywood spies, quote, "So this show is dead," in the words of our Bothan spy. We can't go into great detail, but this show is under 400,000 views as of a few minutes ago. Oh, but it gets worse, much worse. The tots this week are the worst I think I've ever seen, and I've been doing this for a while. Of the people that watched this show, 70% tuned out at the room full of old white guys. This show is bleeding viewers and could possibly end up as the lowest viewed show on Disney Plus after Buzz. Allegedly, this show cost $170 to $190 million to make. They are losing all kinds of money on this, unquote.
The wages of woke are death. Thus, from my perspective as a necromancer, go woke. When will they ever learn, Doomcock? When will they ever learn?
When it hurts enough, Harvey. If this rumor is true, She-Hulk is an unmitigated disaster, poisoned yet again by wokeness before it even had a chance. This could have been a harmless romp and a bit of fluff that did well on Disney Plus, but now it's come to this. I'll keep you posted on how future episodes do, but in the meantime, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.